The vast darkness of space stretched endless and cold, stars shining like scattered fire. In the heart of the Zarian Empire's territory, patrol ships drifted with calm arrogance. For centuries, their empire had ruled without fear. They believed no one dared to challenge their power. But then it appeared. At first, the scanners only picked up a faint signal, a lone vessel, small in size, moving quietly across the border. The crew on duty laughed. "Is that all? One ship?" Their commander smirked. Probably lost, probably weak. They had no idea what waited for them. The ship did not send greetings. It did not ask for permission. It crossed into Zarian space like it belonged there. Its design was strange. Sharp lines, glowing edges, silent engines. It did not match any known empire. But then one junior officer froze, his eyes wide as he whispered, "It's human." The command deck grew silent. Humans, the forgotten species, long ignored. The Council had once dismissed them as backward, weak, barely capable of space travel. Yet here was a human vessel, alone, daring to enter the strongest empire's space, the fleet prepared to intercept. 10 warships adjusted formation, their weapons powered up, energy charging, but something was wrong. Their sensors kept failing. The human ship's signal jammed their systems. Every reading was distorted. It was as if the ship was rewriting reality itself. "Open communication," the commander ordered. His voice carried both anger and fear. Static filled the room, then silence. Then, for a single second, a voice came through, calm, cold, human. "Leave Earth alone." The words were simple, but the tone was heavy. It felt less like a request and more like judgment. The crew exchanged nervous glances. The commander roared, "Ignore them! Destroy it!" Weapons locked, the Zarian fleet unleashed a storm of plasma and missiles. Explosions lit too. He void. A sea of fire consumed the lone vessel. The crew cheered, confident it was over. But when the flames cleared, the ship was still there, untouched, glowing brighter, like it had awakened. Suddenly, their own ships began to fail. One by one, systems went offline, engines sputtered, weapons froze, lights flickered, panic spread across the bridge. Then it happened. A scream, loud, raw, unnatural. The sound did not come from any one place. It filled every ship, every mind. A scream of fear, a scream of death. The commander clutched his head. Soldiers dropped to the floor. Technicians tore off their headsets. But the scream would not stop. The patrol fleet tried to retreat. Engines failed. Communications collapsed. All that remained was chaos and terror. The scream echoed until finally silence returned. In the aftermath, only drifting wreckage floated in space. The human ship remained, watching, silent. Then it turned slowly, its engines glowing with power, and vanished back into the void. The Zarian Empire lost 10 ships that day, but what frightened them most was not the destruction. It was the last sound that filled their comms, the scream of their own men, and across the galaxy, whispers began to spread. Humanity had returned. The report spread faster than light. News of the destroyed patrol fleet reached the Zarian High Council within hours. 10 warships gone, destroyed without warning. No survivors, only fragments of metal and echoes of a scream. The council chamber was filled with tension. Tall alien leaders with scaled skin and glowing eyes argued among themselves. Some dismissed it as a mistake, a malfunction, a ghost signal, nothing more. Others shook their heads in fear. We all heard the transmission. That was no malfunction. That was terror. At the center of the chamber, the Emperor of Zarian rose, his voice deep. "One ship, one human ship, did this." His words were meant to sound calm, but his hands trembled on the throne. He remembered the old stories, whispered tales of humans who fought like beasts, who never surrendered, who turned. The council summoned the surviving scout probe. It had drifted back across the border, damaged but functional. Scientists studied the recordings. They found strange energy fields, impossible readings, and one final image, the lone human ship glowing with power, untouched by enemy fire. Then came the sound file. At first silence, then the same scream that haunted the fleet, the same scream that broke minds. It was not just noise, it carried something deeper. Some claimed it was fear forced into their brains. Others believed it was a warning. "Why scream?" one counselor asked. "Why not simply destroy us?" The chamber went silent. The possibility was terrifying. If one ship could destroy them all but chose not to, then what else was humanity capable of? To calm the Empire, the Council ordered a public announcement. They declared it a simple accident. They said a solar flare caused system failure. The patrol fleet was lost with honor. The people cheered, but soldiers whispered the truth. Fear grew in the ranks. Meanwhile, in the hidden chambers of the military, generals debated, should they send more ships? Should they capture the human vessel? Pride demanded retaliation, but fear whispered caution. One young admiral stood, his voice strong. Send me, I will lead the fleet. He wanted glory. He believed numbers would crush this lone human ship. The emperor hesitated, but fear of losing face pushed him. Go then. Bring me proof that humans are weak. The fleet prepared. Hundreds of ships powered their engines. A storm of weapons ready. Yet among the soldiers, whispers spread. Some said the scream still echoed in their dreams. Some said the human ship was a ghost. Others claimed it was a god. As the fleet moved toward the border, strange events began. Their sensors picked up faint signals again, distorted, jamming. Ships blinked in and out of scanners. Lights flickered, though systems were perfect, and then, in the dead silence of space, a voice cut through every channel. Run. Just one word. Calm, cold, but heavy like a mountain. The admiral roared, "Ignore it! Press forward!" His voice carried anger, but inside doubt was growing. The fleet advanced, weapons locked, ready to fire. But suddenly, one of the lead ships went dark. Engines dead, life signs gone. It drifted, silent, its crew frozen in fear. Before anyone could react, another ship followed, then another. Panic began to spread. "It's not firing at us," one officer cried. "It's breaking us without weapons." The admiral screamed orders. His ships tried to form ranks, but every attempt failed. The lone human vessel appeared on their scanners for just seconds at a time, then vanished again, moving faster than anything they had ever seen. Fear spread faster than commands. Soldiers whispered, "We cannot win. One ship is enough." And for the first time in centuries, the mighty Zarian fleet hesitated. Their empire was built on fear, but now fear was against them. Then it happened again. The scream, louder, sharper, cutting through every mind. The admiral fell to his knees, clutching his head. Soldiers screamed, tearing at their helmets. Entire ships lost control, spinning into each other. Fire spread. Chaos reigned. The human ship did not fire a single shot. It simply let their fear destroy them. Back in the council chamber, silence reigned. They watched the feed cut to black. The admiral's last transmission echoed, a single broken sentence. "We are not ready." And across the stars, the message spread. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy trembled. The galaxy was restless. Whispers spread from system to system. The lone human ship had shattered fleets without firing a single weapon. The Council of Zarian struggled to control the story, but truth traveled faster than lies. Soldiers drank in silence, civilians spoke in fear, and rivals watched with cold curiosity. The council summoned their finest minds. Scientists, historians, and strategists gathered in the central archive. They studied fragments of data from the destroyed fleets. Every file showed the same impossible results. Weapons fired, but nothing touched the human ship. Energy readings bent in unnatural patterns. It was as if the ship itself was rewriting physics. One scientist trembled as she spoke. "This is not technology alone. This is something older, something buried." She projected ancient records, forgotten by most. They showed humans in wars long past, fighting not with numbers but with relentless will. Their battles carved scars into planets. Whole empires had once tried to erase them, and yet humans survived. Another historian stepped forward, his eyes wide. "Do you not see? The ship that destroyed our fleets was not even their strongest. Look at the design. It is a patrol-class vessel, small, meant only for scouting." The chamber fell silent. If a single patrol ship could do this, what would their war fleets be like? The council grew uneasy. One elder asked, "Why now? Why appear after centuries of silence?" No one answered, but deep down they all feared the same thing. Humans had waited, watched, and now chosen their moment. Outside the chamber, unrest spread. Soldiers refused orders. Ships deserted. Captains reported voices whispering in their comms when no one was speaking. "Run. Leave. You are not ready." The fear was spreading like a virus. In desperation, the Council captured the damaged probe again. They sent it to the secret laboratory beneath the Capitol. Scientists tore it apart, searching for hidden clues, and there, buried deep inside the data, they found something, a message. It was not Zarian code, it was human. The words were simple, written in Old Earth English. The scientist read them aloud, her voice shaking. One was enough. The chamber froze. The phrase carried weight. What did it mean? Was it a warning, a threat, or a promise? The Emperor stood, his voice trembling. They want us to know they did not send an army. They sent one ship, and it was enough to break us. Some argued the humans were bluffing. Perhaps it is all theater. Perhaps their strength is illusion. But the screams of dead soldiers told another story. Fear was not illusion. Meanwhile, across the border, strange signals continued. Traitors vanished. Scouts never returned. And sometimes, in the emptiness of space, pilots swore they saw the silhouette of the lone human ship glowing faintly before vanishing again. The Council called in their secret weapons division. Perhaps new machines, new super weapons could counter this human threat. Engineers promised solutions. They spoke of building titanic cannons, dark energy bombs, fleets larger than anything before. But one general muttered, "What good are weapons if soldiers refuse to fight?" And he was right. Fear had already cracked the Empire. Then came the turning point. A crippled warship limped back from the border. Only one survivor remained, his eyes wide, his body shaking. He spoke only one line before collapsing. "I saw it, I swear. There was more than one." The Council demanded explanation, but the man was broken, his mind lost. His words were dismissed as madness. Yet the fear returned stronger. If the lone ship was not alone, if there were others waiting, then the Empire was already doomed. That night, deep in the archives, the youngest historian searched old forbidden texts. He found records erased from official history. Records of a war thousands of years ago when humans had faced the first galactic empire. The notes ended with one chilling line. "Do not wake them, do not test them, for when humanity rises, the stars will burn." The historian ran to the Council with the discovery, but before he could speak, the lights in the chamber flickered, the comms filled with static. Then, across every channel, across every ship, across every planet in the Empire, a voice whispered, "We warned you." Silence followed, heavy, suffocating silence, and in that silence the Empire realized the truth. Humanity had returned and the galaxy was no longer safe. The Zarian Council sat in silence. The chamber was cold, heavy with fear. The youngest historian's warning echoed in their minds. When humanity rises, the stars will burn. But none of them wanted to believe. None wanted to admit that one human ship had already broken their fleets. Then, without warning, every screen in the chamber turned black. Comms across the Empire flickered. Civilian broadcasts froze. Military signals jammed. And then, across every ship, every home, every world, a face appeared. It was human, a man, pale skin, dark eyes, standing tall in a simple uniform. There were no medals, no banners, just a calm presence. His voice carried across the galaxy, steady and cold. "We are not your enemy," he began. His tone was calm, but his words were sharp. "We asked only for peace, for silence, for distance." The Council members shifted nervously. Civilians trembled as they listened. Soldiers clenched their fists. The man continued, "But you came too close. You threatened Earth. You sent fleets to intimidate, and so we sent one ship." His eyes hardened. "Only one." A murmur spread through the chamber. The human's voice grew heavier. "That was your warning. You saw what one ship can do. Imagine more. Imagine a fleet. Imagine war." The feed cut for a moment, replaced by scenes. Images of destroyed fleets, broken wreckage, screams echoing across empty space. Civilians watching across the Empire began to panic. Some prayed, others wept. Soldier is looked at their weapons and felt powerless. The human face returned, his voice colder than before. "You think yourselves rulers of the stars, but you are nothing before us. We have hidden long enough. We have watched. We have prepared. If you seek war, you will not find it. War will find you." The message ended with one final sentence, whispered across every channel. One was enough. Then silence. The Empire erupted into chaos. Worlds rioted. Armies broke ranks. Captains refused orders. Families fled into the outer colonies. Fear had spread faster than any invasion. Back in the council chamber, rage replaced fear. One general slammed his fist. "We cannot bow to them. We must show strength." Another shouted, "Strength? We have no strength left." Their voices clashed, but all were drowned by the truth. The emperor rose slowly, his eyes hollow. "If one ship can do this, we are already defeated." His words shocked the chamber. Never before had an emperor admitted weakness, yet the truth was undeniable. In the shadows, the scientists whispered. They had discovered more from the probe's data. Buried deep in the transmission was a map, not random, not meaningless, a path leading far beyond known space, and at the end of the path, Earth. The council debated whether to follow the map. Some saw it as an invitation, others feared it was a trap, but curiosity burned in their pride. They could not resist. A secret fleet was formed, silent ships, cloaked and hidden, sent to follow the map. Their orders were clear: find Earth, learn its secrets, and return. But as the fleet vanished into the darkness, rumors spread. Civilians whispered that none would return. Soldiers whispered of voices in their dreams, whispering warnings, leave Earth alone. And then days later, one of the scout ships reappeared, drifting near the border. Its hull was cracked, its engines burned. Only one transmission remained in its black box. The recording played in the council chamber. A trembling voice of a pilot. "We found them. They were waiting. Not one ship, not 10, but thousands." The Zarian Empire could not remain silent. Fear had already spread like fire. If they did nothing, their people would lose faith, their rivals would rise. So the council made a choice, reckless but proud. They would gather their greatest fleet in history. They would crush the lone human ship and prove their empire unshaken. Hundreds of warships assembled in the outer sector. Their shadows covered the stars. Engines roared. Weapons glowed like suns ready to burn. The people watched with hope. The soldiers hid their fear. The emperor declared, "Tonight, we erase the human threat." At the heart of the formation stood the young admiral. His eyes burned with pride. He ignored the whispers of his crew, ignored the nightmares that haunted them. He saw only glory. "We will return with victory, or not at all," he promised. Then the silence came. The human ship appeared, small, alone, glowing faintly in the endless dark. Against the massive Zarian fleet, it looked fragile, laughable. But no one laughed. The memory of screams still haunted their minds. "Target the ship," the admiral ordered. Thousands of weapons locked on the lone vessel, energy pulsed, missiles armed. The fleet fired. The stars turned to fire. Explosions shook the void. The lone ship was consumed in a storm of light. The admiral smirked. "It is done." But then the smoke cleared. The ship remained, untouched, glowing brighter than ever. A strange hum filled the void, not sound, but vibration. Every alien on every ship felt it in their bones. "Impossible," a captain whispered. "Nothing can survive that." The human ship moved, not fast, not loud, but deliberate. Its engines flared, and suddenly half the fleet systems went dark. Shields collapsed, weapons froze, lights flickered across hundreds of ships. The admiral screamed orders. "Fire again! Fire everything!" Panic spread as ships tried, but their systems failed. Missiles refused to launch. Plasma cannons shut down. It was as if the human ship had reached inside their machines and torn out their hearts. Then, in the silence, the voice returned. Calm, steady, human. "You should have listened." The admiral clenched his fists. "We are not afraid of you," he shouted. But his voice trembled. His crew could hear the lie in his words. The lone ship flared once more. A beam of light stretched across the void. Not fire, not plasma, something else. It touched one Zarian battleship, and in a blink, the ship was gone. Not destroyed, not broken, gone, erased from existence. The fleet broke. Soldiers screamed. Captains fled. Ships collided in chaos. Some fired blindly at each other. Others tried to run. The admiral begged for control, but it was too late. Fear had won. Then came the scream, louder than before, shaking every mind, tearing every soul. The admiral dropped to his knees, blood leaking from his nose. His crew collapsed around him, covering their ears, though it did nothing. The scream was not sound, it was inside them. One by one, ships tore apart, not from weapons, but from fear. Pilots lost control. Engineers abandoned their stations. Generals wept like children. The greatest fleet in Zarian history was dying without a fight. The lone human ship drifted calmly among the chaos, silent, merciless, watching as the Empire destroyed itself. Finally, the voice returned, soft, almost pitying. One was enough. The remaining ships fled, engines burning as they scattered into the dark. The Admiral's flagship tried to retreat, but before it could, the human ship appeared directly in front of it, close enough to see every detail. The Admiral froze, his crew silent, trembling. The human vessel spoke one last time, not with words, but with silence. It turned slowly, powered its engines, and disappeared into the black void, leaving behind wreckage and fear. The battle was over. The Empire's pride was broken, their greatest fleet destroyed by nothing but one ship. Back on the homeworld, the Council waited for harm. The Zarian Empire was broken, their greatest fleet destroyed, their pride shattered. Their people whispered in fear, one was enough. The words echoed across every world. The Council gathered in secret, faces pale, voices weak. They argued over what to do. Some demanded surrender, others wanted revenge. But all knew the truth. They had no chance. Scientists brought their findings. For weeks they had studied the wreckage left behind. They found nothing. No human debris, no sign of weapons, only strange distortions in energy fields. It was as if the human ship had rewritten the laws of space. Then, deep in the archives, the historians uncovered more. They found hidden texts erased from official records, files older than the Empire itself. They spoke of an ancient war, a war where humans faced the first galactic rulers. They were outnumbered, outgunned, yet they won. The old records ended with one chilling warning: do not awaken them again. The Council trembled. The Emperor demanded answers. How could this be? How could we forget such a war? The historians lowered their heads. We did not forget. We erased it. Our ancestors feared humanity so much they buried the truth. Meanwhile, unrest spread across the Empire. Soldiers refused to fight. Some deserted. Some whispered that humanity was divine punishment. Civilians rioted, demanding peace. But the Council could not control them. Fear had already conquered. Then came a greater shock. From the edge of Zarian space, a message arrived. Not from humans, but from other empires. The Drakari, the Vorn, the ancient rivals of Zarian, all carried the same news. All had seen the human ship. All had lost fleets. One Drakari envoy spoke, his voice shaking. Do you think you were the only ones? No. They tested us too. One ship entered our territory. One ship destroyed us. And the last thing we heard was the same scream. Silence filled the chamber. Humanity was not striking only Zarian. They were showing themselves to the galaxy, one empire at a time. The Zarian Emperor clenched his fists. Why? Why now? No one could answer. Then the scientists revealed their darkest discovery. They had intercepted fragments of human code. Buried deep in the transmissions was a phrase translated into every known language. We are awake now. The Council froze. If humans had been silent for centuries, watching, waiting, then their sudden return meant something greater was coming. This was not random. This was the beginning. In the streets, rumors grew louder. Some said humans had built fleets hidden in dead stars. Some said they had weapons that could erase planets. Others said they had learned to fight with fear itself. But the most frightening rumor came from the broken survivor of the last fleet. He whispered to his doctors every night, that ship was only a patrol. A patrol. Do you understand? A patrol. The doctors tried to silence him, but the word spread. A patrol ship had destroyed hundreds of warships. What then was the strength of a human battle fleet? The Emperor called a secret meeting with his closest generals. If this is true, then humanity is not just a threat. Humanity is destiny. If they rise, no empire can stop them. His voice cracked. The generals stared at the floor. None dared to argue. Then came the final blow. The Zarians' deep space sensors lit up, thousands of faint signals across the edge of known space. At first they thought it was error, noise, but the patterns were too clear, too deliberate. One general whispered, "Ships. They are ships." The Council panicked. Were these human fleets? Were they moving toward the heart of the galaxy? No one knew. But one thing was certain. The lone ship had never been alone, and as the signals grew stronger, the human voice won. She returned, Not across one empire, but across the stars, calm, steady, unshaken. We are not here for war, but if you bring it, we will finish it. We always finish it. The stars seemed darker that night. Every empire knew the same truth. Humanity had awakened, and the galaxy would never sleep again. The galaxy was no longer the same. Fear had spread like fire, from the Zarian to the Drakari, from the Vorn to the silent colonies. Every empire now whispered the same words. One was enough. The Zarian Council met in secret for the final time. The chamber was dim, shadows clinging to the walls. No one spoke with pride anymore. Their voices were broken, filled with despair. The Emperor's eyes were hollow. If the signals are true, then humanity is not rising. Humanity has already risen. Reports came from every border, lone human ships appearing, testing, watching, never destroyed, never harmed, but always leaving behind the same terror. Sometimes a scream, sometimes silence, sometimes only the whisper, "We are awake." The empires began to turn against each other. Some called for alliance, others for war. The Drakari wanted to join forces and strike Earth before it was too late. The Vorn argued it was suicide. The Zarian could not decide. Then, without warning, the stars shifted. Not natural, not chance. Across the edge of the galaxy, thousands of human ships revealed themselves. They did not arrive with noise or fire. They appeared silently, one by one, until the night sky was filled with shadows. The council chamber shook as every comm lit up. The same face appeared again, the human with calm eyes and simple uniform. His voice carried across every empire. "We warned you," he said. "You called us weak. You invaded our borders. You sent your fleets. You did not listen." His eyes darkened. "One ship was enough to show you, but one ship was not alone. We were never alone." Across the stars, human fleets lit up. Their engines glowed like suns. Thousands of ships, tens of thousands, their designs unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Some were massive, world-sized, others small and sleek, but all carried the same aura, unstoppable. The message continued. "We do not seek conquest. We do not seek thrones. We seek only peace. But if you bring war, war will not end until you are gone." The feed cut to silence. For a moment, the galaxy held its breath. In the Zarian chamber, panic broke. Generals shouted, "We cannot fight this." Others cried, "If we bow, we lose everything." The Emperor stood, his voice trembling. "We already lost." Meanwhile, among the people of the Empire, something strange began. Civilians began to pray, not to their gods, but to humanity. Some called the humans saviors, others called them demons. But all agreed. They were unstoppable. Then came the final act. The lone human patrol ship, the very first one, returned. It appeared above the Zarian capital, floating silently in orbit. The city below trembled. Citizens screamed. Soldiers froze. The council stared at the sky in terror, and then, without firing a shot, the human ship sent its last message, not in words, not in screams, but in memory. Every mind in the Empire saw it. The ancient war, the truth erased by history. They saw humans fighting empires greater than Zarian. They saw humans burning stars, breaking planets, surviving everything. They saw humans rise again and again, never ending, never surrendering. And then came the final vision. Earth, a single blue world, glowing in the darkness. And behind it, fleets beyond counting, weapons beyond imagination, and a voice whispering into every soul. "Remember us." The vision ended. The patrol ship vanished. The skies cleared. But the galaxy was changed forever. No one doubted anymore. No one laughed. No one called them weak. The galaxy remembered what it had tried to erase. Humanity was awake. Humanity was watching. Humanity was waiting. And the last words that spread through every empire, whispered in fear and respect, were the same. One was enough.